notice to consolidate 911 ambulance dispatch in Alberta. We cannot emphasize enough how frustrated we are to find ourselves in this, to be forced to be contending with and revisiting this issue once again. In 2013 and 2014,
is now joining.
We eventually arrived as municipalities with an agreement with the Ministry of Health, as well as with Alberta Health Services, that there would be 3 communication centers for dispatch in conjunction with the 3 satellite dispatch centers. Obviously, yesterday's news was not well received by our municipalities. I'll briefly highlight a couple of the specifics of why this is so important for the Central Alberta region, as illustrative of why the regional dispatch system is so important in the province. And then I would like to walk through the timeline of our 4 municipalities' discussions, both with the Office of the Ministry of Health as well as with Alberta Health Services. We would like to be very clear in our position that this issue is about people and not politics, because in the chain of survival, seconds matter. In 2019, Red Deer Emergency Services responded to just over 35 medical co-response calls. And in 40% of those calls, our pump co-response was the first to arrive.
Is now joining.
And let us be very clear, if Alberta Health Services, if their intention on emergency services dispatch consolidation is to save money, let me be clear that the City of Red Deer's response, that our fire system subsidized the ambulance system to approximately $2.5 million in the interest of patient outcomes, so that when a 911 call came in, that patients were served with the quickest response. I would also like to note that the target dispatch time that AHS has established is 90 seconds. Red Deer averaged 71 seconds this past quarter, with a 12-month average of 67 seconds. In AHS's Edmonton Communication Center, the average was 92 seconds this past quarter, below the standard that AHS themselves has set, and in the last 12 months averaged 85 seconds. With that, I would now like to set the stage for my colleagues to go over their specific components, but I would like to specifically walk through our advocacy on this issue in particular. And again, I would like to state that the City of Red Deer, the City of Lethbridge, the City of Calgary, and the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo have endeavored to engage in good faith with both the Ministry of Health as well as with Alberta Health Services. And we are highly frustrated by the letter that we received yesterday. On February 3rd of 2020, the Government of Alberta, as many of you will already be aware, published their report by Ernst & Young to identify areas for potential cost savings. As part of the areas identified was the consolidation of emergency dispatch in Lethbridge, Calgary, Red Deer, and Wood Buffalo. On February 26th, the Government of Alberta had a health infrastructure announcement in our community, and I personally approached the Chief of Staff for the Minister of Health, indicating that we would need to have a briefing with the Minister of Health in very short order with my colleague mayors in order to discuss that particular recommendation and identify our concerns for that. The Chief of Staff at the time indicated that they had not yet fully reviewed the report, and the recommendations in that report would not be implemented quickly. So he had indicated that there was still time for us to engage with the minister and to discuss what was understood to be at the time a preliminary recommendation. On March the 6th, a request from my office on behalf of Mayor Spearman, Scott, and Mayor Nanchi to meet with the Minister of Health while we were anticipated to be in Edmonton was submitted. We fully appreciated, in the minister's office, we were going to meet with them. Of course, that was deferred with the onset of the global pandemic, and we understood that regular business would, of course, need to be deferred in the interest of our COVID-19 response, which obviously as municipalities, we shared that. and were given reassurance that when regular business reassumed that we would engage at that time. My office again followed up in March with the Minister of Health Chief of Staff in order to follow up and again on the status of the Ernst & Young report. The Chief of Staff to the Minister at that time indicated that the AHS would be providing a report back to the Minister and that there was still time to engage. On June 24th, the City of Red Deer, the Office of the Mayor, again, we reached out to the Minister of Health Chief of Staff inquiring on the status of that report. The Chief of Staff on June 26th indicated again that they would be getting an update on emergency dispatch recommendations. And then again on June 26th, we indicated that we would hope to meet very soon. On July 15th, Mayors Nenshi, Mayor Spearman, Mayor Scott, and myself held a call with the Minister of Health. We appreciated that he availed himself to us, particularly while we were still navigating COVID-19, to discuss emergency dispatch, in which the Minister at the time had asked if Alberta Health Services had consulted with us. All four of us unequivocally confirmed that AHS had not consulted with our municipalities. We had asked the Minister, we had
is now joining.
Sorry, am I good to proceed? Okay. We had asked the Minister at that time to hopefully intervene. He respectfully requested that we would engage with Alberta Health Services first. We agreed to do that, and he committed to having Alberta Health Services consult with our municipalities. Again, we expressed some frustration in that call, indicating that robust consultation, that we have been steadfast in our message for a number of years rather, in that message. But again, we did say that we would welcome the opportunity to engage with AHS, even though they are fully informed of our position and the steadfastness of our position as it has been for many, many years. On July 24th, myself, as well as my colleague mayors as named, we submitted a joint letter to the Minister of Health outlining our position, and we will be releasing this letter to the media later today, if you would like to have that background. Later that day, on July 24th, Alberta Health Services requested a call with our City of Red Deer staff to discuss emergency dispatch. A 30-minute call was scheduled subsequently for July 28th. On July 27th, the July 28th Alberta Health Services call with the City of Red Deer to discuss emergency dispatch was cancelled and rescheduled for August 4th, which brings us to yesterday. On August 4th, our consultation quote-unquote call, which was rescheduled for yesterday, was rescheduled. Alberta Health Services on a 9:10 call, which was supposed to have been our consultative call with Alberta Health Services. At 9:10, they provided us with advance notice of the consolidation of emergency dispatch. At 9:32, my office received the letter from Alberta Health Services from Mr. Sandbeck providing official notification of dispatch consolidation. At 10:08, a press release issued from AHS announcing dispatch consolidation. At 11 o'clock, Darren Sandbeck held a press conference announcing dispatch consolidation again. So I will just say in conclusion, I did speak with Minister Shandro today. He has committed to meeting with Mayors Nenshi, Spearman, Scott, and myself later this month to discuss this matter subsequently. But again, before I defer to my colleagues on this, I would like to submit our official request, and I will come back to my opening point. We have dealt with this matter on numerous occasions. We had an agreement with Alberta Health Services and the Ministry of Health in 2013 and 2014 in the interest of joint patient outcomes, because in the chain of survival, seconds matter in life and death situations. And integrated dispatch is absolutely essential for us to be able to deliver on patient outcomes when seconds matter. We respectfully submit the following to the Premier and to the Minister of Health and to the MLAs in service to Albertans. Former ministers have overturned AHS's intentions on this file before in the interests of patient outcomes in life and death situations. And we respectfully request that the Premier and the Minister of Health will review this AHS decision and do the right thing and honor the commitment of the 3 communications dispatch centers and the 3 satellite centers in order to ensure integrated dispatch response, and so that we can respond in a timely manner when seconds matter in life and death circumstances. And with that, I will turn it over to Mayor Scott and will be available for questions.
Thanks very much, and good afternoon, everyone. I think it's fair to say that when you hear that timeline, I'm in a room with several people. Everybody in this room was shaking their head as they all heard the timeline for the very first time. It's quite shocking, quite frankly, the way that we've been treated throughout this process. So like my colleagues, I am strongly opposed to the AHS decision. This is about service delivery and saving lives. Our current model works, and for this region, it has been in place since 1979. Our current system has better time-based responses than the AHS model. It's unfortunate, but as you know, our region have become experts in emergency response. My region has a service delivery area the size of Nova Scotia. We often describe our location by landmarks and markers. There is absolutely no doubt that the AHS model will cause delays. In many smaller communities, people identify landmarks in people's homes when giving directions. Time is lives. 90% of the time, our municipality dispatches an ambulance faster than AHS. Our processes allow us to dispatch a unit in less than half the time it takes AHS. Over 80% of our center's calls come in via wireless lines requiring address verification techniques. We have a large number of transient workers who also use landmarks to identify their location. No one knows the region like our own people. We can best protect families with the existing model. Our region will lose at least 4 staff with that local knowledge if the AHS decision proceeds. The savings AHS will achieve for our region is estimated at $660,000. AHS will then turn around and hire 25 staff in another region. The AHS savings, in my view, will not be achieved. When I was an MLA and a minister from 2013 to 2015, the same issue came up. My MLA colleagues at that time fought fiercely to protect and preserve the system that's in place today. When I was on the other side of the issue, as an MLA and a minister, I immediately recognized that the ineffectiveness of the AHS proposal and that the risk to patients outweighed any theoretical savings. The same battle has been fought. No facts have changed. Minister Horn, who was the minister at that time of health, intervened and stopped AHS. The AHS plan puts the lives of our residents at risk and will result in negative patient outcomes. As mayors, we are all concerned about the well-being of citizens. This is an attack on our frontline emergency response. Enough is enough. This is a situation that demands intervention. I would encourage every concerned resident to contact their MLAs and Minister Shandro on this critical issue and communicate your displeasure and that you support our position. Thank you very much.